What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an Arsenal inventory update to do for you, and this is going to be the very first Arsenal inventory video that I dedicate to a specific band, artist, project, group, etc. And this, what better way to get started than by talking about one of the most influential and important bands to come out of the spectrum of US black metal. And I, of course, am talking about Leviathan, aka Rest, aka Jeff Whitehead, tortured mind, tortured soul. Such a historied body of work, from the demos to the full lengths to the EPs to the splits to the artwork to the presentation of things. Jeff Whitehead is just a genius, and a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you here in this video is stuff that I've recently come into acquisition with, and some stuff I've shown on here in years past, but I'm bringing it back for the benefit of this video. So let's get started by talking about one of the, probably the only Leviathan tape that I own, and that is the 10th Sublevel of Suicide. This was released through Children of the Night, Foreign Sounds. Yeah, nice little silver sleeve here with the Leviathan logo, Children of the Night sticker. You take out the sleeve and you have the artwork in cassette form, which I think looks really, really cool. Spine with the name, additional artwork. Black Pro tape, very good job with the sound. Simplistic sort of J card with the track listing and cross. And then you have Rest looking the way Rest is supposed to look. Very, very good job done here by Foreign Sounds, Children of the Night with this tape. I'm going to dive more into detail when in this next little stack of stuff I'm going to show you here. Of course, we talked about the 10th Sublevel of Suicide. This is the CD version, put out through Moribund Records. Yeah. What a proper and wondrous way to get to know someone like Rest and this project known as Leviathan. Just a straight up, dark, evil, menacing sort of release. When you hear songs like Fucking Your Ghost in Chains of Ice, Sardoniscorn, He Whom Shadows Move Towards, The Idiot's Son, probably one of the very best songs on here, to even the closing track, At the Door to the 10th Sublevel of Suicide, it's just pure genius, and I fucking love this album. The earliest increments of Leviathan, I would say, is some of the very best material ever put out by a project like Leviathan. Of course, you have the booklet here with lyrics, credits, and a manifesto of some kind. More artwork. I love what this says here. To the first gash you rape into your own skin. None more evil than that. And things got way more evil after this album. And what I mean by that is the album Tentacles of Horror. I got this as a blind buy from Relapse, from the Relapse mail order many, many years ago. Brand new, unopened, never played, and getting this was probably one of the best steals I've ever made in my life. But going on to the music here, this is where I feel Leviathan reached a pure apex in his career. Musically, vocally, visually, it was just an evil album to listen to. Once you hear What Fresh Hell, to songs like Cut with the Night into Mine Heart, Vexed and Vomit Hexed, Requiem for a Turd World, The History of Rape. Things got way more evil with this album, and it shows. This is the quintessential Leviathan album, in my opinion. Of course, you have the booklet here. Rest looking even more evil. You got the crosses with the lyrics. Kind of hard to read because of the font, but what can you do? I think this is a really incredible release. Let me stick it back in here real quick. CD with the moon here. Rest looks just so badass here. And then, of course, we have the notable compilations that Leviathan has put out throughout the years. Of course, we have the most notable one, which was 2005's How Mockery at the Cross, 2005 Moribund release. Material from 2000 to 2002. Not much else is really known about it, other than the fact that it is stuff from 2000 to 2002. But this compilation has its own fair share of really incredible releases to behold. Like Canthropus Rex, Where Annihilation Dwells, Liar of Nazareth, even the Death in June cover at the very end of this thing with Nothing Changes. That's really, really awesome to listen to Leviathan be so diverse and deep and intellectual. Of course, you got the CD here, the little credit saying what the origins of a release like this is, and of course something compiling old photos and demo artwork. Very well done release here, and very much essential purchase for any fan of Leviathan. And since we're on the topic of Leviathan compilations, here's another Leviathan compilation that I would say predated this one, but has material even dating further back to the late 90s. I'm talking about Revered. Yeah, Tumult Records. I believe this came out originally in 2002, but got reissued in 2006. I want to say this is probably the repress that I'm holding in my hands right now. But yeah, it's a 2 CD set, disc Schadenfreude and disc Krankheit. There, of course, you have Rest right there. Out of the black it sees you, hatred eternal eclipsing all light, misanthropic majesty fire, serpent with me ride. So damn incredible. I mean, the material that predated the later Leviathan releases is just amazing to listen to. I mean, songs like Courtship of the Discarded, Shed This Skin, Through the Womb of the Moon, Opaque, Light's Last Cry, Time End, Our Lunartic, It Comes in Whispers. Such amazing songs on this compilation. Of course, it folds out to have the track listings, and you have lyrics for majority of all of the songs on here. Yeah, this is an amazing compilation. Very much for anyone who loves Leviathan and wants to know more about the earlier workings of Leviathan. Yeah. From the CDs, we move on to the records. I showed this many, many years ago, but let me show it to you again here for all intents and purposes. The 10th Sublevel of Suicide. This was the very first Leviathan record that I ever purchased. This is the Funeral Industries repress, Moribund Records. You have the classic album cover here. You have the back with Rest, track listing. Very simplistic gatefolds. Most of these Funeral Industry represses are simplistic. No lyrics, no inserts, just the music and really nice gatefolds. Would have been nice if they included lyrics and whatever, but what can you do? You have the gatefold with this artwork. Same little quote and credits, just so you know what's going on here. Really amazing album. Yeah. And like I said, things did get better for Leviathan from here. And I, of course, am referring to Tentacles of Horror. This is, of course, the alternate album cover. I believe Profound Lore and Moribund collaborated to put out the original version. But this is the, once again, another Funeral Industries repress. Very nice album cover here. I really enjoy the original album cover artwork more personally, but this is really cool too. Rest is just an evil, badass looking dude. Yeah. Every song on here is perfect. You even have a bonus track, A Shield from Grace. It's fucking amazing. Then of course this gatefold folds out into something very... It's as if this woman is being exorcised or something like that. I really like how this looks. Just straight up evil looking as hell. Fucking love it. And of course it's a double LP. Very nice red vinyl. Very similar to the original version, but of course this is Funeral Industry, so what can you do? It plays great, and hearing this on vinyl for the first time really brought chills to me. There's always a special feeling whenever you listen to a record of an album that you like for the first time on vinyl, and you get those instant chills when you hear certain songs that you like. When I heard Vexed and Vomit Hexed on vinyl, goosebumps, man. That's how it felt listening to something like Tentacles of Horror. It's just straight up pure evilness. The only album on vinyl I don't have from Leviathan is The Silhouette in Splinters, but I will be getting that in due time. I'm in no hurry for it. Of course, that's the dark ambient instrumental project that Leviathan released. But then we got something that seemed to fit Leviathan just that much better. This is supposedly the second Lurker of Chalice record, but it had to be released as Leviathan. Talking about Massive Conspiracy Against All Life. Another marvelous record from Leviathan. Just brilliant, brilliant stuff. I believe this was released in 2008. lots of memorable songs to be heard on something like this. Vesture dipped in the blood of morning, merging with sword onto them. Merging with sword onto them is easily one of my favorite Leviathan songs ever. Perverse calculus, just an amazing body of work here to listen to something like a massive conspiracy against all life. A very special album in its own right. Of course, you have the gatefold here, which is, again, very similar to what was done on the Moribund pressing from many, many years ago. Very good job with the layout and design here. This is released on a very nice blue 180 gram vinyl, heavyweight style of Leviathan on the other side here. Such a very, very good release. Yeah. Awesome Leviathan album here. And the next record is what we're actually listening to right now. Of course, I got the CD for it, but this is a True Traitor, True Horror. The original Profound Lore version. Very, very nicely done. But of course, this is the Funeral Industries press, licensed through Profound Lore. The moon is a little bit of a spot gloss going on. Gray spot gloss on here, which I think looks really, really cool. You have the track listing on the back. I'll be honest, this album took forever to grow on me because it sounded different. It had a different aesthetic in comparison to previous Leviathan albums. From the production values to the vocal deliveries, it just felt different. I mean, I commend Sanford Parker for doing something completely different with this production style. But I believe this was made during a time in Leviathan's life where things were a little bit dark and a little bit demented. But True Traitor, True Horror is something completely different and crazy in its own right. And it's like the previous Leviathan albums of old, it had that certain discomforting feeling once you listen to it. I mean, you listen to songs like Her Circle is the Noose, Contrary Pulse, Every Orifice Yawning Her Price, Blood Red and True. Pure evil Leviathan shit done right by this album. And probably the best vinyl color of all of the Funeral Industry pressings, in my opinion. This is gorgeous. This black and white merge, side A, side B, sounds great. Like I said, I think this is the best vinyl color of all the Funeral Industries represses. But I think this is a fucking awesome, awesome record. This took forever to get to grow with me, and I'm glad I gave it more chances, because I think this is a fucking awesome album. And last but certainly not least, everybody on YouTube has shown and talked about this box set. Now it's my turn to talk about this box set. I'm gonna sit back to let you scoop in what's going on here. Scarsighted. 2015. This was supposed to come out at the very tail end of 2015, but I guess there were some vinyl delays with the pressing plant. It took a while for this project to come out. Didn't come out until early February. Yeah. What can I say about this album that I hadn't already said in my reviews? I think this is leagues and miles ahead above the last several Leviathan releases. From a musical standpoint to just how elaborate and wonderful something like this is to listen to. To me, this album still holds up. It's still beautiful to listen to. It's still a joy to behold and just sink in. It's very deep, very elaborate, very moving. This is a Leviathan release that can tug at your heartstrings and can show you that this project has really transformed into something more in-depth and human, but still creating stuff that's transcendent of black metal. I mean, this really does feel more than just a black metal release. There's way more to it than meets the eye, but I still think Scarsighted is a goddamn masterpiece. But yeah, this is the box set right here. You have the black gloss in here, this die-cut crescent moon, which does pop out a little bit, but they put so much time and effort into a project like this, so you can forgive them for the shortcomings. You have the spine here with Leviathan, Scarsighted, Leviathan, Scarsighted. You have the back here. It's very similar to the CD box that Profound Lore put out. Of course, Devout Records, which is the label that is run by both Jeff Whitehead and Stevie Floyd. I'm going to unveil the contents of this box, if you don't mind. Who am I kidding? I'm going to fucking show him anyway. Leviathan, Scarsighted, hand-numbered, number 329 out of 1,000. Got this really nice little cloth patch here to, I guess, serve as something to cover this, all of the art cards and stuff. The Leviathan logo made a little bit tighter here. Very, very cool. And of course you have all of these artwork cards that are on these really nice stock paper. It's not flimsy or anything like that. These are really, really nice to look at and just behold. I'm gonna go backwards here. This is stuff that you could easily frame, but I think it's good to have all of this stuff, that way you know what song is which and what has meaning to it. Scarsighted, this is probably one of my favorite ones of the bunch here. Yeah. All the credits on this one. Track listing on this one. Another one of my favorites of this whole bunch here. Yeah. And another one here too. All this artwork, all these artwork cards are fantastic. They did such an amazing job with this. And comes with these 2 printed inner sleeves. Track listings for both of the records. And they both come on a very beautiful white vinyl. White vinyl that looks and sounds amazing to listen to. Once again, a very bang-up job done here with this vinyl presentation. Artwork cards are awesome. This was worth it and then some. And yeah, I too was in the minority of people who wanted a regular standard version of this album for like no less than $30 or $40. But this was my album of the year. I was gonna get it regardless of how much it cost. I understood that this was a vision that Jeff Whitehead had in mind, and I completely get it and I understand it. I don't regret purchasing this. I got it because I had the means to. I worked very hard for my living. I worked very hard to get stuff like this, and I'm very happy that I was able to get it. So if you want to buy it, buy the CD. If you want to wait until a more affordable version is available on vinyl, then that's your right, that's your choice. I know more people bought this version, people I know bought this version, and more power to you guys. So I really don't have anything else to say about that. Not my concern if you don't like this box set, I guess. But yeah, Leviathan rules, and if you enjoy Leviathan, definitely let me know what you think. If you have a favorite release, favorite song, favorite whatever, let's talk about it. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks all for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.